Ever feel like you've already shaken every martini the 60s had to offer? Think again, agents, because the next 15 minutes are going to detonate your secret cinema dossier. We're queuing up 13 spy spoofs so audaciously cool they make 0707 look like he's stuck on autopilot. Grab your trench coat, slap on those oversized sunglasses, and don't forget to smash that subscribe button. We're going undercover into celluloid gold. Our Man Flint, 1966. Imagine Bond trading stiff upper lip formality for acrobatic swagger and Zen philosophy, and you get Derek Flint, played with cheeky shark grin perfection by James Coburn. Flint is a polymath super spy who speaks every language, cooks cordon bleu meals mid-mission, and casually fakes his own death because it seems like an interesting weekend project. In this Technicolor, romp a rogue eco-cult, Galaxy, hijacks orbiting weather satellites, promising sunshine for those who pay and instant blizzards for anyone who doesn't. Director Daniel Mann paints the screen with pop art splashes and split-screen bravado, while composer Jerry Goldsmith laces bongos under brass so the whole adventure feels like yoga performed on a rocket sled. Behind the scenes, Coburn insisted on choreographing his own fight scenes to move like loose-limbed jazz improvisations, a wink at Connery's tight judo chops, and he personally helped design the infamous multi-purpose lighter that shoots darts, flamethrowers, and flirtatious sparks all at once. The production's modest $3 million budget bought sculpted sets, shark pool trapdoors, and an underwater lair stocked with live moray eels. Box office receipts quadrupled the modest $3 million spend, convincing Fox they'd birthed a franchise and unleashing a tidal wave of Flint lunchboxes, toy laser lighters, and bubblegum cards. In Like Flint, 1967. 1 year later, the Zen master of espionage parachutes back with In Like Flint, doubling the outrageous ingredients that made the original a sensation. Coburn glides through the role rescuing a kidnapped U.S. president while dismantling a cosmetics company cabal of brainwashed flight attendants marching toward matriarchal world domination. Director Gordon Douglas splashes deeper psychedelic color, fragments action into comic book panels, and drops Flint in a Japanese bathhouse showdown so steamy the film stock nearly melted. The screenplay pokes fun at Cold War masculinity by letting Flint reprogram a vending machine with chopsticks, then beat a Russian assassin at yoga. Fox executives panicked when Coburn vetoed a scene where Flint beds 5 women simultaneously. "Too on the nose," he laughed, so they rewrote it into a single, slow-motion champagne cork pop heard round the box office. Feminist critics later applauded the movie's inversion of gender tropes, while toymakers churned out plastic Flint phones that dialed one number: the White House. Goldsmith's surf jazz score slithers behind each karate chop, saxophones fluttering like coded notes inside lava lamps. Casino Royale, 1967. Forget everything you know about coherent storytelling and surrender to the psychedelic pandemonium that is 1967's Casino Royale, the prankster cousin who gate-crashed Bond's black tie party wearing day-glow paisley. Producer Charles K. Feldman denied Connery and official continuity threw money like confetti, hiring 5 directors: John Huston, Ken Hughes, Joseph McGrath, Robert Parrish, Val Guest, and stuffing the cast with David Niven, Peter Sellers, Ursula Andress, Orson Welles, Deborah Kerr, and Woody Allen. Plot, in the loosest sense, involves MI6 calling every available officer James Bond to confuse Le Chiffre, but narrative logic dissolves into London nightclubs, Bavarian dream palaces, and literal exploding bagpipes. Sellers walked off set after feuding with Welles, forcing editors to stitch stand-ins, animation, and cowboy duels into coherence. The ballooning budget punched past $12 million, astronomical for the era, yet global returns tripled the investment once Burt Bacharach's Whistlehook soundtrack hit radio. Critics dubbed it the world's most expensive inside joke, but midnight audiences cherish the chaos, quoting Allen's "You're interfering with private world domination. Like sacred scripture, Its candy-colored credit sequence later fed directly into Austin Powers' DNA, and collectors still hunt for bubble bath bottles shaped like baccarat shoes. Buckle up, drop the needle, and witness excess elevated into absolute pure pop delirium. The Silencers, 1966. Dean Martin saunters into the Silencers like a lounge singer who wandered onto a CIA firing range and stayed for the cocktails. As Playboy photographer turned agent Matt Helm, he swaps Bond's martini for bourbon and croons between explosions, seducing allies and enemies alike. Columbia Pictures adapted Donald Hamilton's gritty novels into neon parody under director Phil Carlson, unleashing gadgets that would make Q faint. A motorized circular bed, a cigarette lighter missile, and a convertible that ejects beach umbrellas at the touch of a lipstick-stained button. Helm must stop Big O from nuking a desert missile test, but narrative gravity is mostly an excuse for Stella Stevens' bumbling Tina to tumble into hot tubs. Lalo Schifrin's Bossa spy score shimmers while Martin's contract guarantees daily golf, forcing stand-ins to fake afternoon pickups. Shot for $6 million, it raked 25 worldwide, delighting audiences and embarrassing critics. Fashion mags cataloged its candy wardrobes. Toy stores sold plastic Helm holsters dispensing bubble gum. Today, its margarita-soaked misogyny is studied as a Playboy-era time capsule, while midnight crowds cheer Dino saving America without spilling a drop. Murderer's Row, 1966. Murderer's Row cranks Matt Helm's party dial to 11, flinging Dean Martin into a pinball machine of ion ray death beams, Riviera discotheques, and Anne Margaret's volcanic dance moves. Helm survives a staged funeral complete with hydraulic coffin before chasing ICE's plan to vaporize Washington from a secret Mediterranean island. Anne Margaret's kinetic go-go bruised Martin's stunt double so badly it produced padded furniture. Director Henry Levin splices NASA Mercury capsule footage into the mayhem while Schifrin layers electric sitar riffs. Gossip swirls of Martin looping dialogue, post-golf, tumbler in hand. Submarine corridors repainted psychedelic purple, saved money. Box office returns stayed robust, crowning this the series' high water mark. Terpning's kaleidoscopic titles inspire motion graphics designers, and a Murderer's Row wristwatch with hidden compass now fetches serious coin online. Oh, and Anne Margaret's flamenco meets judo finale scorches the screen. The Ambushers, 1967. Fellow thrill-seekers ready to pop another olive in the margarita? The Ambushers hurls Matt Helm into orbit, literally, when a prototype flying saucer is zapped out of the New Mexico desert and crash lands in cartel-ruled tequila country. The catch? The ship's electromagnetic controls fry any Y chromosome that steps aboard, so Helm must tailspin his flirt engine from debonair to downright deferential, letting ace test pilot Sheila Summers take the stick while he rides shotgun and mixes metaphors. Director Henry Levin, staring down a shrinking Columbia budget, raided props from TV's The Invaders. He glued hot rod flamethrowers under the saucer's belly, singed the soundstage rafters, then laughed it off as added atmosphere. Dean Martin sweet-talked the studio into a mobile margarita cart between takes. Variety quipped that Helm's greatest stunt was remaining upright after lunch. Painted desert backdrops occasionally peek through the artifice, yet Oscar winner Burnett Guffey hides the seams with neon pink and lime green gels, turning cantina gunfights into electric sunsets. Kids went wild. 5 cereal box tops scored you a cardboard helmet saucer frisbee that could decapitate shrubs in suburban backyards. Critics fired blanks. Roger Ebert likened the plot to a hangover looking for aspirin. But midnight crowds still roar when Helm converts a beer keg into a steam-powered rocket thruster. The Wrecking Crew, 1968. Strap on those snow goggles, cine spies, because Helm's curtain call is a glacial blaze of cool. The Wrecking Crew catapults our bourbon-sipping hero to Denmark, where suave super thief Count Massimo plans to snatch $1 billion in gold from a moving train and plunge global markets into chaos. Enter incandescent Sharon Tate as Freya Carlson, tour guide. By day, lethal trainee by night, whose klutzy cover masks tiger-fast reflexes drilled by action choreographer Bruce Lee. Lee's lightning routines pushed Dean Martin to swap highballs for hydration, and the star joked that the only bruises he suffered weren't from stunt falls, they were from Bruce's glare. Director Phil Carlson bathes faux Copenhagen sets in icy teals and blinding Nordic whites, while Hugo Montenegro's brassy wah-wah theme struts like a catwalk model loaded with C4. Production ballooned to $7 million, extravagant for the series, but steady box office returns and a tsunami of tie-in merchandise proved Helm still printed money. Tragedy struck months later with Tate's 1969 murder, freezing her luminous turn in amber and casting an elegiac glow over every frame. Decades on, Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood reignited fascination. Blu-ray sales spiked, lobby cards of Tate wielding a sequined Tommy gun skyrocketed in price, and film historians hailed Lee's uncredited work as a stepping stone toward his own stardom. Spot an unbilled security guard? That's a young Chuck Norris taking his first spin kick into cinema history. Modesty Blaise, 1966. Swinging London collides with high-fashion espionage in Modesty Blaise, Joseph Losey's kaleidoscopic spin on Peter O'Donnell's comic strip. Monica Vitti trades Antonioni angst for Mondrian bright capes as Modesty, ex-thief turned semi-reluctant agent charged with foiling dandy criminal Gabriel from stealing Aegean diamonds. Visual delirium outranks plot. Characters freeze to strike comic panel poses. Musical numbers erupt unannounced. Dialogue ricochets like Dada poetry. Terence Stamp's Willie Garvin flings switchblades with ballerina grace, while Johnny Dankworth's bossa grooves throb beneath strobe lights. Costing $3 million, it barely recouped, yet its vinyl jumpsuits sent fashion editors spiraling. Tarantino hails it as pop cinema's lost masterpiece, and Vitti's improvised English non-sequiturs remain charmingly surreal. Cult status blossomed on VHS double bills with Pierrot Le Fou. Watch closely. You'll glimpse cinema's first edible lipstick prop, flavored mint and tinted blue. Fathom, 1967. Take a deep breath, leap from 12,000 feet, and dive into Fathom, where Raquel Welch's skydiving student becomes an unflappable accidental operative. Director Leslie Martinson escorts Welch across sun-drenched Spain to track a lost H-bomb trigger dubbed the Fire Dragon, then flips the MacGuffin into a priceless figurine. Welch performed 90% of her own jumps, dangling beneath candy-striped parachutes, insured for $1 million per limb. Tony Franciosa and Richard Briers trade quips while Dankworth melds flamenco guitar with spy jazz horns rippling off tiled rooftops. Fox gambled $4.5 million, domestic returns wobbled, but overseas markets, Japan and France included, pushed it into profit. During one stunt, a parachute malfunction sent Welch splashing into choppy Mediterranean waters. She surfaced, laughing, demanded a retake, and won the crew's devotion. Douglas Slocum bathes villages in turmeric yellows and cobalt blues, sun-kissing every frame. Feminist scholars highlight Welch's agency, puzzle solver, pilot, trickster, within a still male gaze. Today, revival audiences cheer her rooftop dive, proof that the coolest spy gear is simply courage, charisma, and a parachute that opens. Dr. Goldfoot and the Bikini Machine, 1965. Before Austin Powers cried, "Yeah, baby," Vincent Price cackled through Dr. Goldfoot and the Bikini Machine, where go-go fembots rob San Francisco's tycoons. Price plays the mad scientist like vaudeville Dracula, plotting domination from a cobwebbed wax museum with bumbling Igor. American International Pictures, the powerhouse, repainted haunted house sets in dayglow and installed conveyor belts to parade robots with remote-control belly buttons. Frankie Avalon is square-jawed Agent Craig Gamble, but eyes stay on Goldfoot's lair, periscope martini shakers, foot-shaped escape pod. Producer Sam Arkoff crossed it with the Beach Party series, yielding a sandy chase originally scored by the Supremes, pulled last minute for sound-alikes. Budgeted at $1 million, profits were steady, but cult fame exploded on late-night TV. Price later called it the silliest fun I ever had in a lab coat. Goldfoot masks haunt Halloween. Collectors pay hundreds for a Bikini Bot remote with flashing lights. Watching now feels like mainlining 1965 bubblegum, eye-popping colors, less Baxter surf rock riffs, and enough double entendres to beach the Love Boat. The President's Analyst, 1967. Ever wonder what happens when your therapist knows every state secret? James Coburn's Dr. Sidney Schaefer finds out, then flips out, in this prophetic black comedy gem that wiretaps tomorrow. Hired to soothe the sleepless commander-in-chief, Schaefer suddenly carries the anxieties of nations on his shoulders and becomes the most valuable target on Earth. Director-writer Theodore J. Flicker shoots in jittery handheld close-ups, jump-cutting from Oval Office hush to groovy Greenwich Village lofts, layering Lalo Schifrin's sitar-laced score, so each paranoia spike feels like a psychedelic pulse. Paramount marketed the film as lightweight Coburn caper, but the script's razor-sharp satire predicted data-harvesting monopolies years before Silicon Valley got the memo. The shadow villain isn't Moscow or Langley, but TPC, a grinning telecom hydra that literally wants to implant subscribers with micro-receiver ear buttons. Budgeted at roughly $2 million, the picture stumbled theatrically. Audiences expected Dino-style slapstick, not counterculture dread, but campus midnight slots turned flop into cult as students cheered every surveillance society punchline. Behind the scenes, Flicker requested authentic White House floor plans and was politely rebuffed by the Secret Service. He settled for an oval clone built on Stage 31 and promptly crammed it with hidden mics. Coburn, ever the improv master, ad-libbed Schaefer's free association meltdown, riffing so long the cameraman's magazine ran dry. Danger. Diabolik, 1968. If Bond is Savile Row, Mario Bava's Diabolik is avant-garde runway, sleek, subversive, sinfully slick. Masked anti-hero John Philip Law sprints through chrome vaults, steals millions in untraceable lyre, and then, why not, romps on a heart-shaped bed buried under physical cash with partner in crime Marisa Mel's Eva Kant. Working inside Rome's Cinecittà, Bava stretched a shoestring $380,000 budget into a pop art fever dream. Papier-mâché cliffs, reverse motion base jumps, and matte-painted skylines washed in ultraviolet greens. Ennio Morricone's fuzz guitar soundtrack flips from lounge seduction to wah-wah freak-out, making every heist feel like an underground club set. Censors balked at the orgasmic smoke bomb getaway. Bava answered by tinting the cloud candy pink, claiming purely aesthetic. European teens flocked, propelling the film to Italian box office dominance, though U.S. distributors shrugged, until cultists and the Beastie Boys resurrected it. Their body movin' video is literally a love letter to Bava's split-screen larceny. Miniature Jaguar E-types used for tunnel crashes later surfaced at a Rome flea market, fetching five-figure sums. Tarantino screens it before every production for shot composition courage, while fashion houses still mine Eva's white fur hooded coat for winter lines. Carry On Spying, 1964. Before Connery perfected the arched eyebrow, the irreverent Carry On troupe slipped a whoopee cushion beneath the throne of empire. Shot in tongue-in-cheek monochrome to parody Dr. No, the film unleashes pompous Agent Simpkins, gadget-mad Desmond, rookie Harold, and photographic memory dynamo Daphne Honeybutt. Early career Barbara Windsor, hair piled higher than MI6's secrets. Their mission, Stop Stench, quickly retitled smut to dodge censors from stealing a serum that renders the world docile. Director Gerald Thomas filmed on a frugal 97,000 pounds, recycling corridor sets and strapping cardboard fins to Sunbeam Talbots for rocket car flair. Yet thrifty ingenuity birthed comedy gold, exploding fountain pens filled with custard, knockout gas braziers, and a finale in an alpine lair where ski poles double as spear guns. Domestic box office quadrupled costs, while schoolyards echoed Williams's "Double O Dear" catchphrase. Behind the scenes, Hawtrey allegedly hid gin in prop briefcases. Windsor practiced her trademark giggle so loudly neighboring stages complained. The press hailed her as Cockney Dynamite, marking her first of 9 carry-ons. Feminist film scholars now re-evaluate the picture. Beneath the saucy puns lies a sly critique of paternalistic spy culture. Daphne saves the day with intellect, not seduction. Annual seaside festivals in Brighton screen it with live innuendo bingo. Prizes include inflatable poison umbrella tips. And there you have it, 13 Technicolor time bombs that prove Bond didn't own the 60s. From Coburn's Zen Master Cool to Vincent Price's Cackling Couture, these forgotten firecrackers crack open nostalgia like a shaken soda. Fizzy, surprising, impossible to ignore. Drop your favorite hidden gem in the comments, slam that subscribe button, and ring the bell so you never miss another dive into cinema's unreal back catalog. This is Movieverse, signing off. But trust me, our next haul of secret reels is already ticking. Share this episode with your fellow cine spies, and together we'll rescue every misfit masterpiece languishing in shadowy vaults. See you on the other side of the projector.